Hello and welcome to all you Pisceans. Welcome to the monthly horoscopes for August of 2013. And I'm going to start straight away because it's again a month full of action and there's so much to say. And as a matter of fact, I always start with Pisceans lately because they are so inspiring. When you do these charts, you get like, whether it is my imagination or not, you get like energy out of these charts. And I always get excited lately with what is going on for Pisceans because there's so much inspiration coming from them. And that affects other people. So I still have got energy after I've done all the 12 horoscopes. But let's talk about what's happening in August, what is so important. Now in August, it is all about the Jupiter-Pluto opposition and squaring up to Uranus. And that will happen for all of us, and I will talk about what it means for a Piscean in particular. But first of all, the energy of Jupiter and Pluto in combination with Uranus. What is the meaning of that? What do we have to learn from that? I think it's all about modesty, to be honest. I think there is a call in this world on a collective level for being modest, but being strong, you know, so not to push too much, but not let everything happen just as it happens. I think that's the main thing that is important for all of us. So being modest and having some tolerance, because if you look in astrology and you read about Jupiter and Pluto in an opposition, so an opposition means conflict. It always means conflict. It always means that something needs to come out through the confrontation aspect. So that doesn't mean to say that it is wrong or it's just different. And Pluto is about power. Pluto is about power, your own power, but also about what is in you, to get that out, to get all your talents out and to show the best that you have. That is what Pluto is all about. Now Jupiter is a planet that tends to is interested in growth. So it works very well together with Pluto. Jupiter is your ruler in traditional astrology. So it means Jupiter is the ruler of Pisces. So it means that you have the opportunity to become more powerful, more stronger, but through an opposition, so through confrontation. Now, Jupiter tends to make everything bigger. So the good thing is there's opportunity to become successful in a way. I will talk in a minute what levels this is all about for you as a Piscean. And particularly for you and the Sagittarians, because Jupiter is your ruler. So it's all about you going through this transformational process, because Pluto is all about transformation and all about wanting to achieve something so amazingly a lot. This is this aspect. And it is squared up to Uranus, and that means that there is a sense of liberation, so it enlarges it even more. Now, there's always a good side and there's always a bad side. Now, this Jupiter-Pluto aspect is the bad side of it, let's say, is a bit that it tends to go to fanatism, or how do you call that, obsession. And that means that Pluto tends to overfocus and tends to want to control. So when that is an overfocus of something and an obsession almost, or being fanatic, then the success is actually blocked. So this is the lesson here with this Jupiter-Pluto opposition. Jupiter-Pluto is, especially for you Pisceans, because it's your ruler, it is an aspect that has to do with teachers, with being a great teacher. And maybe you're saying, I'm not a teacher, I'm a nurse, or I work as a salesman. it doesn't have to be that obvious in your profession, but it is in what you do and how you express yourself. Because last month I talked about that 5th house of yours that is so highlighted, and which is all about self-expression. So there is for you an opportunity here to, with that Jupiter and Pluto in an aspect, to convince other people, to almost persuade other people of what you think and what you believe in. Because Jupiter is very much about justice and about truth and about how things should be in a good, correct, divine way. And so what does it mean with the houses and the areas of your life, this aspect? So if you are being modest, you can get the best out of this. So it means success in any way. And if you're being not too modest, you will have lots of confrontations and lots of feeling that you are blocked. But let's face it to the good way. Let's have a look. The aspect that occurs happens in your 2nd house, the house of values, the house of what you think is important. Also the 11th house, which is your future view, which is your goals for the long term, also friends. And then the 5th house, which could be many things. So the 5th house, let's start with if you have kids. If you have kids, this can be all this, what I just described, this can be an item that you are confronted with your children, that there is a struggle there, but a very meaningful one, and one that opens you up and you grow through your children and you transform. So that could be either they are going to rebel a little bit against you, or you are trying to force your opinions on them, and they will, of course. There's a confrontation, because Pluto in an opposition with any personal planet, whether it is Venus or Mercury, or in this case Jupiter, it's always about the confrontation of that power. So they will be your children will want to be just equal, and if you respect that and if you are open to them, not saying to them everything is all right, of course, but then you will have more success, and then they will be inspired by you, by your example. Now the same could be happening when it comes to self-expression. That is a very broad thing, of course. The 5th house is about your self-expression, how you live, how you are. It's about the I am here, and this is what I am. And highlighted here with that Jupiter, with that Pluto, it could mean that maybe at work, maybe you're having your own business, and you are maybe even in relationships in general. You are very much about convincing other people, convincing them about something that you are really inspired by, and that you can, by being modest and by also being open to their views and truth, then you can become really, really successful. And that is what this Pluto-Jupiter is all about. On another level, what can it be on another level? If you have just a new relationship, my goodness, what a time this is for you then. Because this Jupiter and this Pluto is actually around the middle of the month and the middle of the month and the 3rd week up to the end of the month. There is this Venus in the 8th house, also aspecting this whole square. And what does it mean? It means that in relationship, there can be intensity and there can be a lot of passion with Venus in the 8th house, but people always think that's about sex, and that is just a part of it. I think it's more about intimacy, about having also the opportunity to know your loved one way better, to know all the dark sides and to know all the things that are unknown and to understand them way better. That is all about Venus in the 8th house. It's a bit like Venus in Scorpio, a bit similar. So you will have I think, the wish to know your loved one way better, and through them you transform because you know yourself way better through them. So what an exciting month this is, actually, on all levels. And another thing, I should have worn a square instead of a, how do you say that, triangle? Triangle? That was my door. And I'm actually wearing a square. But what I wanted to do is to give you, just for fun actually, to say what kind of stone is interesting for you. I just picked out this stone, and I didn't look up how it is called. It is a stone with all the little animals in it, or how do you call that? In my language it's Barnstein, but I'm sure it's not Barnstein. And I haven't got a clue what it is all about, that stone. And I think it's important for you, and it can have a meaning. Just bear with me, I'm going to read this quickly. It's definitely not a Piscean stone. So if you're a man, you can buy this for your girlfriend or your woman or your wife or whatever. If you are a woman, definitely buy this. Why? Okay, this is good for warmth. This is good for warmth in life. So it's about your 5th house. It's about Leo house. It's about your self-expression. So if you think, I can't express myself very well, because this Jupiter-Pluto is all about expression. It's all about finding the language that is applicable for everyone. So you can convince everyone and inspire everyone in a very good way. So buy some Barnstein, I don't know the name in English, and if you think that you need a bit more of it. Anyway, I can go on and on, you see, but I still have got 11 other signs to do. I wish you all the best, and I wish you all the luck with August, and it's going to be a fantastic month if you do it, on a modest way. And I'm sure most Pisceans are modest. They really are. And check out also my website about the teaching that I do. So I'm starting in September, so really subscribe now if you're really interested in it, in consultations as well. I wish you a very deep, intense, but modest month. See you next month. Bye-bye.